our dashboard. So though we'll still be doing the two sha, I can just switch from the Python I shell, the IPython shell, then I can now switch to my Jupyter notebook for better clarification. Good afternoon once again. So we'll start with introduction to Python. Like we all know, Python is free for use, is an open source, so it's data scientists use Python, they use it to build packages and the likes. So I still had a few persons coming to asking how do I navigate my dashboard. So I just want to just start from that and clarify that. So there's this document that we all downloaded. I'll just share my screen. When you see it, please you just react. I think I should share this window or the entire screen. Okay, fine. Okay, confirm you can see my screen. Okay, thank you, David. Okay. I know we all have this document on our mail. So this is just the best way to just navigate your dashboard. From this point, you just click on Associate Data Scientist in Python, and then straight up it takes you to where you are. Yeah, at this point. So from here, we will now go to Introduction to Python. I think this is where we're just going to start from. All right. So introduction to Python. Yeah, started from Python basics. Then we talked about um our first Python code. Please, my first Python code was hello world. Please put on your chat box. Put on the chat box. What was your first Python code? Yeah, what was your first Python code? Mine was hello world.
Please, I would love to see our responses. So, okay, push our
Okay, David
responses.
was also hello world too. Wow. I think everybody that started with Python was hello world. I okay. I think I saw somebody's hand raised. Okay, Ajayi Blessing, you can unmute your mic and talk and speak. Hello, Ajayi, are you there? Your hand is raised. Blessing. Okay, so while we are still expecting her to speak, we'll proceed. Okay, so mine was Hello World, and it's always amazing. Like I felt like, wow, I'm just starting. This is nice. Okay, so let's move on to um first of all, we started with Python variables. Yeah, variables and types. Then we were made to understand that Python is like a calculator where, sorry, let me open this. A new, okay. We're meant to understand that Python is like a calculator. Your calculator, you can just type 3 plus 4, and then you run, it gives you 7. You can type 6 times 7, and then you run, it gives you 42. So we're meant to understand that Python is like a calculator. And then we're also made to understand that Python, we have variables and we have types. And in Python, you can actually define your variable. For instance, in during the classes, when our instructor Ugo was teaching, he made mention of, I mean, imagine your height. You have your height is around 1 point something, and your weight is around another value. Then you can actually you can actually call up those values through variable names. Just like this, you say height equal to 1.98, and then you say your weight is equal to 69.2 kg. Do you get? Now, these are variables. Your height is a variable, your weight is also a variable. So what if your Python, you want to look for variable height? You can now go there and say print my variable height, and then you run the code, and that's when you have 1.98. Or you say print my variable weight, and then you run your code, and you have exactly what you made available to the code. Okay, now like we said, Python is also a calculator. Now let's use our instructor used BMI, for example. I just want to just use, and probably I can now try something else. So BMI, we're trying to also call out another variable. So we're saying BMI is equals to weight divided by height raised to power 2. And then instead of us calculating our BMI by saying our weight is 69.3 divided by our height raised to power 2. Definitely, you know that when you print this, you're definitely going to get an answer. Do you get? But instead of us doing that, that is why variable is of advantage. So instead of us writing 69 point this and divided by that raised to power this, you just call out a variable BMI. Do you get? Equals to weight divided by height, and then you now say print BMI. Then you run your code. So that's the advantage of variable. It actually makes your calculation easier. Once you can call out a value on a variable, it makes calculation easier. Please, are we still together? Just reaction. Thank you, David. Okay. And then we went to types. Yeah, thank you, Felix. And then we also moved to, let's try other Python calculations. Where's my pencil? What else can we calculate? Let's just say normal addition or normal. Okay, let's say area. I think the area of uh, um area of I think the area of a circle is equal to pi r square. Yes. Then we say pi. Let me just type it like this so that it's be clear. Pi is equals to 22 divided by 7, and then our radius is equal to, let's say, 6. Now we know that area is equal to pi times and radius raised to power 2. Then we now say print area, and then we run that code. So just know that variables actually make calculations easier. When we go further in this section, we understand variables. So going to this point, okay. Please, can you still see my screen? Thank you. All right. Now this was the exercise I was giving to us during our classes. So it just said print the sum of 4 and 5. Print this exercise is actually showing, it's just telling us that Python is just like a calculator. Python is a calculator. So by the time you run this code, by the time you run this, you will see what it has given you. So 4 plus 5 definitely is 9. 5 minus 5 is 0. 3 times 5 is 15. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Okay, then let's try other. Very Okay, look at this other variable assignment. Okay, they've not okay, yes, we talked about variables. So let's try the exercise I was given to us. So we're told that to create a variable saving. I will refresh my so we're told to recreate a variable savings. So how do you recreate a variable and give it a value of 100? So it means that your variable name is going to be savings, and then you give it a value of 100. And then your next action, they said you should print out or check out the variable by typing print saving in your script. So print, you're meant to print savings. And then you run your code. That's just for this particular. I'm going to refresh. Now, this second instruction says create a variable monthly savings equals to 10 and create num-months equals to 4. So we are creating two variables. So creating two variables. Our first variable is monthly underscore savings. So one error that you can actually make, though you might actually know the right code, like you know what you're doing, but it's not like nobody's perfect here. So now they're writing monthly savings, and now on my script I'm writing saving. So sometimes you feel like you're writing the right thing and you are still getting errors. So just try and check your spellings and make sure that it's exactly what you are told to write here. Remember, are you seeing it? Yeah, it is monthly savings, and I'm writing monthly saving. So you also have to check all of that. So we have to create a variable monthly saving and equate it to 10, and then the next variable is this, equate it to 4. And then the next instruction is multiply monthly savings by this one and assign it to a new saving. So it means another variable, new savings. How do we get that variable? It's going to be monthly savings times number of months. Then the next instruction is print the value of new savings. So you're going to print, remember your print function, print new savings. And then when you run your code, ta-da, this is what you have. Are we following? These are just typical examples of showing you that Python is a calculator and you're also calculating using variables. Yeah, we move. Yes, okay, refresh. Now, here is another example. So our instruction is to create a new float half with the value of 0.5, create a string intro with the value hello, how are you? Create a new boolean is good with the value true. So we are just creating different data types with their values. This how we should create, first of all, say we should create a value, a variable have. So have equals to 0.5. Create another variable intro with the value hello. How are you? And then we are also to create a variable is good. So the variable is good, and we have to equate it to true. So by the time I run my code, that is it. So we are just doing virtually the same thing, creating variables, and doing calculations with the created variables. So let's move forward. Going to Python types. Going to Python types. Please, can you still see my screen? Are we together? Just a reaction. Yeah, okay, thank you. Why am I seeing only David? Okay, another person. All right, thank you very much, guys. So we'll move forward to Python types. So, okay, yeah, we've created variables for height, weight, and we created variables for BMI, created variables for pi, radius, area, and the likes. Okay, now let's try and check out their Python types. So check out type. Let's start with height. So it tells us that this variable height is a float. So let's check out radius. Radius. So it tells us that that variable you called in for radius is an integer. That is your 6 here. And then the variable for height is a float. And then let's check out, I'm looking for a variable that, okay, let's check out variable for, where's the BMI? Let me see. Okay, it's also a float. I'm looking for the one that is a string. Okay, type, um, let me see area. Okay, still also a float. So let's check out. Yes, please. Are you still there? So yeah, we're back to our exercise. I'm going to refresh this page and now follow the instructions. So instruction says add savings and new savings and assign it to total savings. So calculate total savings using new savings and this is so total savings. So I'm already creating a variable now. That's my total savings, and I am told to assign it to savings plus new savings. And then my next instruction was print total savings And then I am now told to print the type of total savings. Now, did I have to do this? Okay, so you're printing the type of total savings. Remember, your print function first of all comes with your curly brackets, sorry, normal brackets, gigit, and now you're also printing a type. First of
Just hold on for a while. I think that's a network. She will be back shortly. Thank you, David. Thank you.
okay, hello everybody. Sorry about that. Hello. Confirm you can hear me now. Okay,
Yeah, we
okay.
can hear you.
Sorry about my network. It happens most of the time. It's just based on so many factors, but we just manage. But I'm back now. Okay, please, are we flowing? Are we following together? Okay, yes. Ajayi Blessing's hand is still raised, so please let's sort that out before we move forward. Blessing. Okay, I feel like she. Am I? In case you're talking, Blessing, your mic is muted. Okay. All right, so let's continue. So I said you can actually do any one. You can use the first, how I did this first one, or you can actually do the second one. So anyone is fine. Okay, so we proceed. Okay, my dad is taking time. Let's proceed. So we actually know that we have different Python types. We have the floats, the integers, we have strings. Let me give example. Assuming x is equal to um, body mass index, and then y is equal to this works for me, and then z is equal to and then S is equal to stress. So let's print type for X. So that gives us a string. So let's print type for Y. That gives us a string. So let's print type for Z. Sorry, can someone suggest what Z will give us? Chat box, please. And we print type for Z for David and Boolean. Yes, thank you. All right, that's a Boolean. Thank you very much, David. Okay, so another thing I actually want us to note is how your code behaves depends on your data type. Yes, so we have different types. We have the integers and we have strings and the like. So now, for instance, you're calculating 2 plus 5. When you run this code, yeah, it gives you 7 because it's actually an integer data type. So definitely it's going to add those two values together. 2 plus 5, 7. But look at this, AB plus CD. Can someone suggest the answer before I run the code? Chat box. So what do you think would be the answer to AB plus CD? I'm waiting. Chat box, chat box, chat box. Okay, so I'll just run my code. That's it. So like I said initially, your code behaves, however, how your code behaves depends on your data. Like I'm going to be moving out to Python list. So Python list. For example, you want to measure the height of everybody this call. Let's proceed. Height of everybody. Let me make it with 7. Oh, come on, no, it's tall and very short. Okay, please type your weight on the chat box. David, what's your weight? Okay, 69. So please, everybody, please just type in your weight on the chat box. Please, I want to use it for our exercise today. Okay, now this is where list comes in. So yeah, now we cannot start having so many variables because we definitely need to be calling out so many variables. So what list helps you to do is that it helps you to collect values more like in a container. So a list contains different values. It could be a float, it could be an integer, it could be a string. Note also knows that a Python list can actually contain another list. But let's actually start with list. So now let's just say okay, let's use circle as our list name. Then we use square brackets to write in our list. So we say okay, 69, that's for David, myself, and oh, now this is how a list is. So like I said initially, it just helps you to collect values. It contains different values. Yes, ranging from your float, different types of values. Do you get? So now let's use the example that was given to us in okay, now let's continue with this. We can also say check up to okay, take up underscore to another list. I'm trying to create another list. So we are names. So I would say David, then his weight is 69, and then Uduak as is 58, and then I say Cohen, sorry, it's going to be like this. Our weight is 55. So this is like a list. So here you have the names and their collection of values. Like I said initially, that a list can actually contain different data types. Now here you're seeing integers, you're seeing strings. So it tells you that, oh, David's weight is 69, then Uduak's weight is 58, and then Powen's weight is 55. That's what a list helps you to do. It helps you to collect these values. Okay, like I said a second, I said that a list can also contain sublists. So now let's use the example that was actually given in. So the example that was given is so the list was okay, it was Lizzie. I think it was Liz. And our weight was 1.73. And the next person was Emma. Yes, his was 1.68. Sorry. And then the next person was Mom. Then Mommy's weight was, oh sorry, Mommy's height was 1.71. I think the last person was that. And that height was 1.89. All right, this is a list contains this family's heights. Lizzie ranging from mommy, daddy's height, and the children's height. This is a list. It just collects that values. So instead of you saying Lizzie is equals to 1.7, Ima is equals to 1.6, mom is equals to this, and that is equals to this. You just use list to collect all these values together. Now, I said secondly that a list can also contain another list. That is what we call sublist, probably a list in a list. So let's do something like this. Explain how a sublist looks like. Probably copy this. Sorry, am I too fast? Should I go back? And if you have a question, you just You can signify and raise your parent. Can I proceed? Okay, thank you. All right. So farm two is what I explained by saying a list in a list. So you can see that you have two brackets already, two closed brackets is a list in a list. Or you can probably, okay, sorry, I was not done. This is so guys, can we say it? So this is a list in a list. Our first list is the list that is carrying Lizzie's details. The second list is the list that is carrying Ima's details. The third list is the one that is carrying mommy's, and the fourth is the list that is carrying daddy's details. That is a list in a list. That is a sub list. All right. Now let's go forward to manipulating our list. So it is called indexing. So you use index to access information in your list. So we just go ahead and access information in our list. Now, you don't forget that indexing starts from zero, just like family here. Can you see my screen? Reaction. Hello, are we together? Yes, thank you. All right, so now look at family, the list called the list family. All right. So, okay, thank you. Now we have Lizzie and her height information, Ima's and information, mom and dad and their informations. Do you get? Now, how do we access the information in this list? How do we call out this information? For instance, you want to call out Ima's height, of which it is 1.68. Do you get? So this is how that's where your indexing comes in. So indexing, you use it to do what? You use it to access information in your list. So farm square bracket. If I use farm square bracket zero and I print, it's giving me Lizzie. So you should not forget that it's called zero indexing. First your first value in your list as zero is zero. Then this 1.7 here is index one. Ima is index 2, 1.6 index 3, and so on. Please, do we get that? Yes. So now let's try farm index 3. So have you seen that it is giving us 1.68? That is because it is, don't forget zero indexing. Lizzie is 0, then 1. Lizzie is 0, then 1, 2, 3. Please, is that on that? Thank you very much. Okay, so who can tell me what to expect when I call out um -1? Let's see how far we've gone with our courses. On the chat box. So if I'm to print from -1, I'm calling out index -1. So I want to see. Somebody said that. Okay. Any other option? Okay, David said 1.89. Any other person? I just need three responses. I'll be fine with three responses from the
Down your
top.
bag. Put down your bag. What do you want to use your bag for?
Please mute your mic. Please not that response. Please just one more response. One more response. What's it, when you type in from, okay, so another person is saying that. All right. Now remember I said, okay, let's run the code. So Tada is giving us 1.89. So here is it. Zero indexing, sorry. NG, sorry about that. So this is it. So Lizzie, like I said earlier, is zero. And then here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Notwithstanding that there is actually zero indexing, there is also a negative index, especially for index when you have a very long list. So you can imagine we have a whole list of 100, and then you now start going to go and start counting zero, one, and you just want to locate the last value. You want to just locate the last value on that list. So zero in the negative indexing from behind. Let's use a layman English from behind. Just know that it starts from -1. All right, that is clear. Now, looking at our sub list, that's our list of lists. Remember, it is a list in a list. So you want to access an information in a sub list. That is a list of lists. Let me stop using the word sub list because there's somewhere I'm going to. Let's be using list of a list. So there is a first list. So assuming this family two, this is our list number one. This is list number two. This is list number three. This is list number four. You get. Now, in all of this, your first list, you still have lists in them. Do you get? So now, oh, sorry, let me explain again. Sorry. In your family too, this is your zero. Remember your index, sorry. This is one, this is two, and this is three. Clear. Now, in your first zero, you still have a zero that is list, and you have a one that is 1.75. In your first index, you have a zero that is IMA, and you have a one that is 1.6, and likewise others. Do you get that? All right. Now, you are given a task to fetch out or locate what index is mom. Now let's try locating mom. So definitely I would say farm. Okay, my first square bracket. So mom actually is in the second index. And then I also want to call her out again, and I put zero. And then if I call her out, okay, oh, you see that it's giving me E. Sorry. It's not farm, it's farm two. You know, there's actually a list called farm here, that's the family one. And then we have farm two. So let's be careful. Farm two. And then we see it's giving me mom. Okay. Can somebody please use the chat box? Um okay. I'm trying to call out the value 1.68. 1.68. So what will it be? Don't forget this is in the second list farm two. 1.68. Since I want to see your responses on the chat box. I want to call out this value. Let me still show you my notebook. I want to call out the value 1.68 under family 2. Under family 2, not the first family, family 2. I want to call out the value 1.68. So let's be very interactive so we know whether we are following or not. Okay, I will just copy or code and run. It's exactly what you say I'm going to write to. So David, don't be surprised when you see something different. So this is, I think I got this code from, okay, from David first. So David, there's an error. It's telling us that FSM2 is not defined, and really we don't have any variable FSM. It is FAM2. Okay, let's try someone else. Second one. And then I'm running it. Oh, good, nice one. It's giving me 1.68. Okay, let's try the last. Okay, everybody, yeah, David did the same thing. Okay. Okay, thank you, Andy. Thank you. So we will proceed. Yes, let's clap for that. Okay, we're proceeding. We're going to the next one. So let's check out. Mhm. Okay, so let's try out the exercises under creating of list. So already they've already given us the variables. Variable all was equated to 1.25 down to about 9.50. And they said create a list areas. So it means our list areas. Remember I said how to create this square bracket. And then you say all. All is a string, so don't forget to put it like this. Comma, all is 11.25. Comma, the next one is kids, 0.0. Comma, the next one is leave. Comma, okay, 20.0. Next one is bed. 10.75. And then the next one is 9.50. Okay. And then the next instruction was that we should print out area. Okay, so don't forget your print function, and then you're printing out areas. We run our code, and there we are. Oh, I actually got it wrong. Incorrect submission. Something has happened there. Okay, let's check it together. So it's saying the instruction is create a list area. Okay, okay, okay. That contains the area of the hallway in this order. Okay, so kit is kitchen, live is living room, bed is bedroom, bath is bathroom. Okay, let's submit against that. Ah, what's going on? Okay, let's check out their int. Define area as a list containing all the areas variables in this order. Oh, they are saying that we should define area as containing the areas. Okay, not necessarily the variables. Python, don't be annoyed. We are humans. We are not robots. So 1.258, 18.0, 20.0. Are you sure it's not this one that's even the problem? Okay, thank God. All right, let's proceed. David, thank you. Okay, so the next instruction was that um okay, let's just look at because I don't want us to take so much time. Okay, finish the code that creates the area list. Build the list so that the list first contains the name of each room as a string and then its area. In other words, add the string hallway, kitchen, and bedroom. Do you get what they're trying to say? So it means that you're meant to create a list, but in your list creation, they don't want you to actually add your values. So they want you to use the hallway, and then your value will be the hall. And then they want you to use the kitchen, and then your value will be kit. So that's exactly what is here. So by then you run this code, you are fine. I'm just trying to proceed to something more. Let's clear this one. Set this example. Okay, so now this other instruction is saying that we should finish the list of lists, that is a sub list, so that it can also contain the bedroom and the bedroom data. So make sure that you enter them in this order. And then lastly, when you're done creating your sub list, you now print out your sub list that is variable house. Does this way of structuring your data make more sense? Okay, they're actually asking a question, and that when you now print out your variable house, and they're asking that does this way of structuring your data, does it make more sense? Like, let's write let's build the sub list first before we now know whether the data is making sense. Okay, Sorry. Okay, the first one is okay, they've done the hallway for us, they've done kitchen for us, they've done living room for us. I think what we are left with is the bedroom. Any hand raised? Please, are we together? Okay, thank you. Okay, so I want us to move to okay, subsetting. All right. So let's do this particular task together. Remember I talked about subsetting. That's a list of a list. Um okay. Now let's look at the instruction. Print out the second element in the area list. Now this is your area list. And they're asking now remember I said that it is indexing that actually makes you do what? Indexing gives you an opportunity to access information in your list. Now, this is your list area. And now you have to access the second element from your list. The second element there is 11.11.25. So now if you are to access that element, so that value that will be there. Remember I said zero indexing. So always is zero and in 11.25 automatically is one. Do we flow? And then the next one, we have to print out the last element from areas. Like I said initially, you can either use the normal indexing, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or you use -1. So in case you have a very long value in your list and you cannot access the last one, you don't want to start counting the way because it's easier for us to count like this because this one is very easy. It's not very long. So what if you have a very long list? So you just use -1. And then the last one is print out the area of your living room. Print out the area of your living room. Print out the area of your living room. Okay, so living room is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So automatically we know that the index for living room is 4. Please, any questions from anybody? If you are fine, if you have questions, please unmute your mic and speak. Okay, no questions for now. All right, it means we're clear on this. Have a look at the code to print out the area of the living room. Oh, please, let's look at this. Are we together? Let's look at this. Now, that last question says that we should print out the area of the living room. So remember that our list name is areas. And now it's not telling us to print out the value that it's not telling us to print out the living room, like that particular index in the living room. It's telling us to print out area of that living room. Now the area of our hallway is 1.25. Area of our kitchen is 18.0. Area of the living. Okay, so I'm back. Here is it. This is what I'm trying to say. Indexing. You should understand. This is your square bracket. Sorry, it's not so fine like that, sir. Just manage it. Now, what I'm trying to say is that in indexing, in slicing, you separate your ranges with columns. That's this particular column. These columns, the dot and the dot, you separate them with columns. Now, if you are starting anything you are starting with, yes, if you're starting with 0, you know that 0 is included. But anything you are ending with is not included. If you understand this is just the starting point to understand slicing. Anything you are starting with is included. Anything you are ending with is not included. So now that's why if you look at my end here, I said from here, family in square brackets 0 to 4. Remember, your 0 is included. Now, if you look at family, remember your Lizzie is 0. It means 0 is included. To 4, remember that this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. It means that 4 is not going to be included. It's going to stop at 3. And did you understand? So when you put 0 to 4, when you put 0 to 4, 0 is included and everything that comes with it going down. But the last 4 is not going to be included. So it means you're going to stop at 3. That's why you're still not stopping at 1.6. Now let's look at the second one. I did not include anything to start from. It means I'm saying start from the beginning. Do you get? I'm just saying start from the beginning. And then my column comes in and it's still saying 4. Remember that 4 is not included. So it's starting from the beginning, that is the least, going to the first one, going to the second one, going to the third one, and going to the fourth one. But this fourth one is not included. That's why you're saying it's stopping at 1.68. Now, looking at this other one, now I'm saying 4 to 8. Now, where is my 4? This is my 0. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. 4 starts from mom. Do you get? And I am saying mom to 8. Now, my mom is 4. This next one is 5. This is 6. This is 7. There is no 8 because even if there was an 8, 8 will not be included. It's going to stop at this 7. So that's why you're having mom going down to 1.89. And now, if you look at this particular one I wrote here, I did not even include where it was going to stop. I'm just saying, take me to the end because I know that the end is 1.89. Is that clear, Indy?
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, that's pretty clear. I was just confused, especially when you were like ending it. So it's actually clear now because initially when you use 0 to 4, I actually saw 1.68. I thought it was going to end at mom, but it didn't. So I was confused, like what happened to it. Now I understand that it's actually um, just strips out one from me.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm glad you understand it now. Okay, now let's proceed uh this particular activity. Now it says that use slides to create downstairs, downstairs. Use like okay, let's check out what is here. Instruction using slides to create a list downstairs contains the first six elements of the areas. I'll do this first part, this first one, and then everybody, all of us will call, or somebody will nominate himself to do the second one. Okay. I'll just do the last one. So somebody should raise up and to answer this particular one. So use your slides to create a list called downstairs, and that your downstairs should contain your first six elements. Remember, your first six elements is this is your first, this is one. No, sorry, first six elements. I'll highlight the first six elements. First six elements. This is your first six elements. Please, everybody. Okay, sorry, somebody should just raise up hands on the IP. First person to raise up. Okay, yes, Indy, we have you there. So unmute your mic and speak.
Okay. If we are taking the first six elements, then we have to put nothing. Then you put
Okay.
I think, then 7.
7.
Yeah.
Okay, let's run the code.
Oh, on line 8, I think maybe you need to comment that and other subsequent lines too.
Okay. Yeah, any other another person, please should tell us the second one. Any other? Okay, Indy, please, you can just proceed. Just tell us. Use your slicing to create upstairs. So upstairs is going to be your last 4 elements.
Okay. The last 4 elements. Yeah, I think you put
Remember, they said that this time to simplify the slicing by omitting the end index.
okay, the last 4 elements. Yeah, currently I think we know the length of the list already, but if we like the list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We actually have 11 items in the list. So if we are trying to get the last 4 elements, then we need to open the last index and start from the 11 minus 5, which should be the, I think, is it 6? So yeah, you start from a 6th column, then you omit the last index.
So start from
6.
okay, 6, and then I use my column. Remember, we said we should omit the last. Okay, so now, are you very sure of your answers? But I'm not going. I'll just execute it like that. Though. Then, if you fail it, you get a thumbs down, man.
Oh.
Okay, print. I'm told to print downstairs. Print upstairs. Should we run our code?
Yeah.
On okay. I don't know why what's going on. It's not clickable anymore. Anyway, for time's sake, let's cross-check this downstairs. So they're saying that use slicing to create downstairs. So downstairs contains the first six elements. This is the first six elements here. So it means that we're starting from zero, or you can probably omit it, and then we are ending it. If this is zero, if always zero, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're actually going to stop at 6. Remember, 6 is omitted. Do you get?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, let me explain again. This is your first 6 elements. They said your slicing should contain your first 6 elements. Your first 6 elements is from always stopping at 20.0. Now, you can actually start by saying 0 column, but you can actually leave that your first, you can leave it empty like that. Python understands that, okay, it's saying that start from the beginning. But now, where are you going to stop? Remember that your 6th element is going to be omitted. It's going to stop at the 5th element. That is your 5th index, sorry. Now, always is 0. This is 1. Are you seeing my mouse?
Yeah.
Always is 0. This is 0. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. This is 5. Remember that we cannot write 5. If we put 5 here, it's going to stop at living room, because the 5th is going to be omitted. So we are putting 6 here because we want the 6 to be omitted and we want it to stop at 20. Remember, the beginning is inclusive, the last is exclusive. That's why it's like that. I have
All
to
right.
refresh this page. I don't know why it's hanging. All right, do you get it now? So,
Yeah.
sorry, it's coming up. All right. So by the time we run the code, it means we are right. All right. Now, remember I said that a list, we've taken so much time on list. So we're not rushing, but if you have any issue, just draw me back. Um, a list is sub list, a list in a list. Now this is like a list in a list. Now the task here is just to subset the house list to get the float 9.5. Now locate your 9.5 first of all. You now see that, oh, my 9.5 is actually in the last list of the list. Are we saying it? So now, if I say that I'm to locate this 9.5, but 9.5 is actually in a list of lists. This is like a list of lists, a sub list. Now, my first one, the hallway is 0, the kitchen is 1, living room list is 2, bedroom is 3, and bathroom is 4. So that's like 4. Do you get? I am also to locate, I'm not locating this last list. I'm to locate my 9.50 inside this last list. So that is this 9.0 bedroom already for this particular list. Bedroom is 0 and 9.5 is 1. So there are two ways to this thing. I can actually still say it is like this. This is my last list. Remember I said I can use -1. You remember? I said I can use -1, and then I'm locating 9.5 in that my last list. That is 1. So whichever works for us. Let's try run the first one. You see, it still give us 9 points. 9.5. Then let's run the second one. It's still giving us the same 9.5. Whichever way you want is fine. Please, you don't understand what I did. Unmute your mic and speak, or forever remain silent.
Okay. Just to clarify,
Okay.
yeah. Why apparently the -1 it should. Oh,
So I didn't get that.
say the -1 shows that you should start from like the last. You should take the last index.
Yes.
Then the 1 shows that you should take the element to the item at index 1.
Okay. Let me explain again. Remember when I talked about a list can contain a list? Now this is a typical example of sublist, like a list in a list. That's a sublist. Now let's look at it. This is a typical list. 1.2, 1.7, 1.9. Do you get this? This is like a list. This is just a very simple list. Now, a list in a list. Let me give an example. This particular list is more like let me say this is the let me say this is a 2-story building, or let me say 3-story building. Let me just because I have three values here. So 3-story building. Now the first weight of the 4-story building is 1.4. Yeah. The second weight is 1.7. The third weight is 1.9. Do you get? Now, I'm trying to explain a list in a list. I'm just giving you the weights of those houses, or let me say the worth of, what is better? The worth of those houses. Huh? Okay, let me not say it's a 3-story. Let me say that I have 3 properties: bungalow 1, bungalow 2, bungalow 3. Now, my first bungalow worth 1.4. The second bungalow was quite finer, and I used expensive materials to build that house. So I'm actually putting it at a worth of 1.7. And then the third one I now built, that one I put POP and everything. And then I'm giving it for rent at 1.9. How is this cost in Lagos, please? So now this is my first list. And I want to specify that, okay, another list. Let me give this my house. Let me say, well, give it a detailed information. I now say, okay, let me use house. And then I say, this first house I built, that is what this bungalow, my first bungalow, that worth 1.4. Let me say it is at Sule. That's what 1.4. This is my first list. I want to be very specific now. My second list is the one that is which other area is finer than Sule Reserve in this Lagos? Anthony. And that particular one is that's 1.7. Now the next one is at Magodo. The house there is very fine. 1.9. Do you get? Now I have three lists, but I want these three lists to be in one list, and then automatically putting the three lists in one list and putting another square bracket. So this is a list in a list. So my first list is carrying these three details about these three apartments. Eh? And then the second list, individual list, is the Surulere apartment, the Anthony apartment, and the Magodo apartment. Do you get what I'm trying to say? This is like a list in a list.
Yeah.
So now if I am to slice now, I want to get information about just Surulere. Eh? That is my Surulere information, both the Surulere house and the cost of that house. I would use this, my normal indexing. Remember I said if I use 0 now and I run, it will give me for only Surulere. Have you seen it? If
Yeah.
I use 1 now, it will give me for Anthony. And if I use 2, it definitely give me my details for Magodo. Do you get? But now
Yeah.
I don't want to get information. I know that it's Surulere, yes. I want to get the information of how much is that house I'm collecting for the Surulere. That 1.4. Do you get? I will not
Yeah.
just use Surulere now. I know that definitely it is in Surulere, Chebi. I know that yes, it is in this 0. Do you get? If I use just this one, if I run just this code, it will just give me the whole of Surulere. That is just what is here. Do you get?
Yeah.
If I run this particular code now, it will just give me, if I run this house and I put this square bracket for 0, index 0, it will give me all the details for Surulere and the amount. But now I don't want the location. I want that particular amount. So now I definitely have to recognize the list Surulere first. You cannot get to God without passing through Jesus. I have to
Okay.
recognize the list that Surulere belongs to and the amount. That is the index. That one is 0 first. Do you get? Before I now come and open another square bracket and say, okay, yes, so I'm done recognizing Surulere. But Surulere, I don't want you. I want this other figure. That is the 1.4. And how do I locate 1.4 on that list? It is the first index. Remember, Surulere now will now be 0. And then this 1.4 now will now be 1. Do you get?
Yeah.
If I run this code, it will give me 1.4.
Okay. Okay.
Now let's
That's
try and do it for this Magodo now. You cannot get to you cannot I want to fetch information for the price of the house in Magodo for that's this 1.9 now. Now I have to recognize that Magodo, it is that list is it I can either say it is -1. Do you get? Or I can say, oh, it is 2. Because indexing, it tells me that yes, this one is 0, the first one is 0, this one is 1, this one is 2. Do you understand?
yeah.
Okay, now after recognizing that yes, so Magodo have come to your area, but I want to know the price that is in that house. And I say, okay, automatically it is 1. If I run it, it will give me the price of that house in Magodo. Okay, I don't want Magodo, I don't want the price, I want to just know the location. And I'm trying to locate Anthony. I'm trying to fetch out information about Anthony. I know that Anthony automatically is index 1. So that is 1. For this particular one here. Index 1. Remember that it is the second list. And now inside this second list, I want to fetch information that carries only Anthony. Not forgetting that it is, sorry, this is 0, this is 1. You understand? So that's why I put 1 here. But I don't want, I only want to get information for Anthony, and then I use 0. If I run that code, it will give me Anthony. Do you also know that if I use house, I want to also get Antonio. Looking at this, Anthony now, this place now, I can say it's -2. I use -2 here. Sorry. If I've not done something to it, I think I've cleaned something. Okay, yes. So I still want to fetch information about Anthony. From using my negative index, remember this one was -1. Definitely this one will be -2. So that's why you are seeing me, I can put -2 here. And I still want Anthony. Even if I use, remember, I can, this one too is still -1. Since it's the last, this one too is also -2. I can still say -2 and run. Give me Anthony because I'm actually using negative indexing. But let's leave negative so it's not be too confusing. But at least it is fine to understand the two. It's just manipulating your slicing.
Okay. I think I've gotten the point. It's actually very clear now. Thank you.
Trying to get the float that is here, that is this 9.0 that is here. So 9.50. Do you get? So now this is my last list. That is 0 -1. And then for just locating, I've recognized I want to get to this particular list that carries 9.0. But 9.0 is in a list, and that list indexing it is -1 or 4. Do you get? So it's either I use 4 or I use -1. But easier, very easy for me. I know that it's the last list. So I use that -1. And now I don't want to just recognize that list. No, I'm actually recognizing that list because yes, I want to get that float 9.50. So you cannot get to 9.50 without recognizing the list carrying the 9.50. So now the list carrying the 9.50, it is this, it's what I wrote as -1, that's the index, -1. Now I'm going to 9.50. Now my 9.50 in this particular list is number 1 because bedroom is 0. Bedroom here is 0, remember, and this one is 1. So that's why you are seeing me writing -1 and 1. So if I submit,
Okay.
we are correct.
Also, if we use -1, I think it's supposed to give the same answer.
Thank you. Exactly. I actually wanted it means you understand it. So if you use -1 and use -1, you will still get the same answer.
Okay, then that's great. Thank you.
I need to clap for you. Let me clap, please. Let me clap for you.
Thank you, actually. I feel very accomplished now.
I'm happy you understand. This is one supposed to end by 5:30. This is ready to 6. Let's just see how we can just rush out. What else?